That
Nothing.
sucks. Well, hopefully, because it had me update this thing earlier, but hopefully we can get it figured out. But what is going on, everyone? And welcome to another edition of Houston Texans football. I am one part of your show, Ruben Calvillo, and right now it is only the handsome man himself, Mr. Harley Dugan. It's been a while since it's been up us too, brother. What's going on? How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's another day closer to Sunday night football.
Oh,
Prime time
you excited?
against the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I'm always excited. This is another edition of Texans football. I'm always excited about Texans football. Um, the temp check isn't as hot as I want it to be, but we'll see how we doing. We see how we doing. We'll
No,
get
I
into it.
feel you. I feel you. And man, hey, I just want to congratulate you, bro. 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Fantastic job, man. I remember when we first started this just many years ago, and we started just on a regular iPhone and kitchen
Yep.
table, and now here we are, man, making big moves, dude. Dude, congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. We're already at 10,200, so appreciate everyone that's been subscribing. It's been very fun actually to see the growth of the channels. It's so far this fast. Just yesterday, I was at 10K, so appreciate it. A lot of people to thank that. I'll take too much time to thank for. But it's really thanks to all the people that are watching, man. They like, they subscribe, they comment, they do their thing, they push it through YouTube. And hey, look, I grind as much as I can. We grind as much as we can, but without the viewer, it's pretty much pointless. So super appreciative every single one of y'all, man. Especially the all that meet us at the tailgates and stuff. Lots of fun meeting y'all. If y'all see us, man, we're just regular people. Just come up and say hi, man. We ain't nobody special, man. Just come up, say hi. We're cool, man.
Are you gonna be at the tailgate this week, this Sunday night?
I was thinking about it. I don't know. Probably not. I was kind of busy. Last time I did it for the Bears, and it was very tiresome.
Oh yes.
So considering it was like 5 p.m. till like that Bears game was long, so I
So
didn't
like
get home till
it's because that ref got knocked out.
yeah, and then there was a lot of flags in the game too. So that game didn't end till midnight.
And we
I
had
got home
bleacher
around 12:30. You know, oof, was not. I had to work. No, yeah, I had to work the next night at 5 in the morning. So yes, people, I work at 5 in the morning, and I try to drop content every day. But yeah, nah, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that again.
Yeah, we'll be out there, me and the friends, me and the fam. We'll be in the Orange Launch. Shout out to the Horns Up Tailgaters and the H Town Tailgating crew. They are doing just a fantastic job, man. It is a party and it's fun to be welcomed at
Yeah,
these, tailgates, man. But
yeah,
Harley, you know why we're here, right? Little subtle
just a
jab
little
there,
jab, just a
right,
little
right, right.
jab. If you know,
If
you
you know,
know,
you
you
know,
know,
right?
you know.
Why would they talk shit, bro?
I got a free wristband, bro.
Right now. But
It's nice, different online.
Harley, the NFL trade deadline came and went.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about you, but I was one of the people, banging on the table that the Houston Texans need to make a move. Um, I don't know about the sense of urgency for you, but as far as for me, the alarms are ringing in my head about the protection of CJ Stroud. And,
Mhm.
we saw the frustrations all the way back against the Green Bay Packers. In the first quarter, he throws his helmet right on the ground. And ever since then, his offensive line has gotten progressively worse. We've seen this with David Carr. We've seen this with Deshaun Watson. And we are seeing it right now with CJ Stroud. And I was saying, no matter what it is, even if you give up a seventh round pick, even if it's a no name, you did something. You haven't fired your offensive line coach Chris Strausser. We haven't really seen no accountability for this offensive line, Harley, which was why I wanted to see a trade. Fortunately, did not happen. I'm not sure your thoughts on it, but um, God help CJ Stroud.
I think that's the best way to put it right there. God help CJ Stroud. That man's been, he said that he's been in prayer for this coming week against the Detroit Lions. And I don't blame him. I'd be in a deep prayer too. I know this man's a very religious individual, but I know Buddy's saying some extra prayers. Like he's going to every church. He's going not to just churches. He's practicing every religion, every God there is to pray to, synagogues, churches. It doesn't matter. This man is going to respecting the Torah. I mean, he is doing his thing, trying to get every God he can on
He's that
his side.
coexist bumper sticker in the back of those
Yeah,
cars.
we coexist. Yeah, the Deadpool Wolverine bumper sticker there. Like he is doing everything he can possibly to try to overcome what is the worst offensive lineman in the NFL. And I, like it's just it's head scratching, man. It's tough because it's just another frustrating week after another frustrating week after another frustrating week of us continuing the same conversation. And it's the offensive line.
And then just last, like, did you expect anything at the trade deadline? And your thoughts that after we didn't do kind of anything.
You asking me or stressing?
Oh, well, like just to
Oh.
wrap it up.
Yeah, the trade deadline. I mean, I wanted them to do something. I kind of didn't expect them to do anything.
Mhm.
And especially when Jonathan Alexander came out with the article like the day before, the night before the trade deadline, he was basically said no moves was going to happen, so people were still crossing their fingers. I'm like, guys, we kind of knew no moves were going to happen. I liked it. I tried to put a positive spin, and be like, hey, the Texans did trade for a wide receiver in the offseason. And if anyone was looking for a wide receiver, maybe that's the reason why they didn't go after one, because they traded for Stephon Diggs in the offseason. In terms of offensive line play, though, I'm not quite sure what else they really want.
Yeah.
I don't know what teams are asking for. I know they said the Browns were open to trading their offensive linemen, but what were they asking? And any people could be like, oh, well, I'll give up anything. Well, do you really want to give up anything? Like, that's when you get into a dangerous conversation, because you don't want to be desperate, because when you're desperate, then it's the Laramie Tunsil conversation all over again.
Absolutely. And I knew it was going to be hard to make a trade. It's rare that we see starting offensive linemen move during the deadline. Even though the Jaguars did it, just a couple of weeks ago, sending Cam Robinson to the Minnesota Vikings. So it is possible. But, another one of the reasons why, when I was looking at the rest of the AFC and I see the Chiefs get DeAndre, you saw what he do. Ravens get Deontay Johnson, Bills get Amari Cooper. I mean, I'm like, dude, everyone's gearing up and arming themselves for the playoffs. And, someone brought up, well, we did all that work in the offseason, which is understandable. But I think the Houston Texans did not expect this offensive line to be this horrible. And we're going to welcome in Houston Stressins. What is going on? How you feeling, brother? Oh, can you hear us?
Oh, can you not hear us? Uh-oh.
No, I don't think so.
Guess not.
Hey, it's all good, man. We're stressing, man. We're stressing. I'm actually very stressing about this game. Currently on BetUS, Hardy, the Texans. I'm very surprised. 3.5-point dogs. I thought it
Yes.
definitely, would have potentially been a touchdown, maybe 6 points, but 3.5 points. I'm surprised. And, guys, take advantage of BetUS, man. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Harley, Vegas hasn't been kind of close.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked actually. Hey, they're giving some respect to the Houston Texans, unlike last week when we were underdogs to the New York Jets, a 2-6 team, now 3-6. But hey, a little respect for the Texans. I thought this would be at least a touchdown. I was thinking touchdown would bend the spread. It wasn't. The Lions are a good football team, very good football team, and spicy chicken, y'all crazy, man. Detroit Lions are a good football team. Dan Campbell's fantastic. Jared Goff just it seems like he doesn't even need to be the quarterback. I mean, they've won games with him throwing less than 150 passing yards, and that's not because he's had a bad game. That's because their offense is so stacked and they score so many points that he don't need to throw the football like that. So, you know, Jameer Gibbs, what's his name? Singletary, am I right? Right there.
Montgomery.
Montgomery, that's right. From the Bears. Yeah, I mean they got a 1-2 duo there. I'm curious to see how the Texans play against them. I know the Texans have done pretty well when it comes to the run game. But this is a two-headed monster.
Yeah.
This isn't something we've faced before. Actually, we're used to stopping just Jonathan Taylor or whoever. Like okay, you're tasked to get one guy. Montgomery's going to give you the body shots. Jameer Gibbs is going to hit you with the damn hook, man. Here's a jab for 20 yards. Boom, here's a 60-yarder from Jameer Gibbs. And then here's the 5-yard, 3-yard, 2-yard touchdown from Montgomery. Like, it's a pick your poison kind of offense. You talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown, 30 straight targets. He's caught a pass. I mean, that's crazy. Jamison Williams is back for this game, a boomer bust type of player, but he's been very successful in terms of creating touchdowns, and we're talking big plays. I hate to sound pessimistic, man. I really do. But this Lions team, there's a reason why this Lions team has been picked for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're talking about one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the most well-coached teams in the NFL. Ben Johnson has this offense firing on all cylinders. This is the number one scorer in offense in the NFL, Harley. We also got to mention their young tight end, Sam Laporta. He has a bright future ahead of him. Dude, if you remember just a couple of years ago, we were talking about Ben Johnson, potentially him being the head coach here for the Houston Texans. Could you imagine Ben Johnson with C.J. Stroud, the fire works that we will see on Sundays? However, I'm sticking with Nico. I'm not trading him from nothing. But it is fun to see what could
I don't like that tone of voice.
Man, dude.
I don't like that tone of voice.
Someone brought this up.
I don't like this.
Like how
you're not swarming, big dog.
No. I'm swarming. I'm just thinking about it. The conversations that we had about an offensive-minded coach compared to a defensive-minded coach. And the fact that with a guy like DeMeco Ryans, of course the offense isn't his strong suit. And we see that. We see the Houston Texans offense struggling. And you think about, well, you probably would have been happy if you would have hired an offensive-minded coach who would have had C.J. Stroud at, year one, day one, and molded him. But, I'm happy with DeMeco Ryans. It's just fun to see. Why are you making that face, buddy?
Okay, I'm just making sure, man. I'm just making sure.
No. They're not. I'm just
talking too much about Ben Johnson as a head coach for us and hypotheticals. I don't like that conversation.
No. I feel you. I didn't like thinking about it either.
Okay.
But when I see this Houston Texan offense have no rhythm, when I see no touchdowns scored in the second half in the past 3 games, I get disgusted, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And hopefully we have no technical difficulties. Stressings, how you feeling?
No,
man.
It's not working tonight.
It's all good. It's all good.
Stressing tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm stressing. But Harley, as we continue, let me see. Let me.
He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll let him figure it out. This is going to be a great football game, a fun football game. A game where it's on prime time, a game where you're going to be wearing your new battle red uniforms. And, I just don't want us to go out there and get embarrassed, bro. I don't want to go out there and have C.J. Stroud running for his life, sacked 8 times, pressured on 50% of his dropbacks. But, the Houston Texans.
What's that giggle for?
The Houston Texans offensive line, it's going to be brand new. Fortunately, Kenyon Green out for the year. Get well, Kenyon Green. Sucks to see anyone go down with an injury. Yeah. I do want to bring up, Harley, that we've seen this Houston Texans offense, with a new left guard find themselves in, positions of success. Jared Patterson comes in, boom, immediately a touchdown scoring drive. Kendrick Green, was it all bad last week? No. Was it all good? No, either. But you did see a, uh-oh,
Oh,
Stress,
here
is
we
you
go.
there?
Am I live? Am I good?
Hey, there
Can
we go.
you
He's
Yeah,
making
yeah,
some
you
yeah.
can
We
hear
noises.
can
There
hear
me?
we
you
go.
now, man.
Yes,
Let's get
sir.
it.
Yeah, let's get it. I'm happy to have you, man, dude. How you feeling, dude? Saw you on ESPN 97 to 5 today, right? Your stressings or blessings segment was good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, the weekly one on Wednesdays. Yeah, feeling good, man. I mean, it's been a crazy season with ups and downs, but I mean, y'all know me. I typically remain pretty optimistic, but I actually
Mm.
feel good about this game going into it. But
Mm.
yeah, how was I didn't get a chance to watch. How was your live stream on Thursday?
Dude, it was hot. It was hot, but shout out. It
Like
was
it
a
was
great
actually
time.
hot.
No, yeah, like in the like in the studio, because like when we were there, they had like the AC kind of lower down a little bit, and then that big old bulb they have there, the light was just beaming. But it was a fantastic time, man. We were on ESPN 97.5 YouTube channel doing it play by play. Hopefully, we get to do it again, and there's some more opportunities for all of us out there. But shout out to Clutch City Grill. They catered the stream, and man, dude, you got to go try those chicken tenders. They're they're legit. But going back to my point, Harley, when we saw Kendrick Green go in, we saw a 98-yard, I think it was a 98-yard scoring drive, the longest we've had since 2020. Was it 98 yards or in that area?
I don't know if
I
it was
think it was
98.
98.
Was it 98? Damn.
So it was the
I forgot about that. That's
longest
crazy.
scoring drive we'd had since 2020. So obviously, we've seen some good things with the new left guard. Now, is it always going to be like that? No. But with a fresh breath of air with the potentially new starting left guard, I am optimistic about this Houston Texan offensive line. Stressing, we saw Kenyon Green go down. We saw Kendrick Green fill in. At practice today, Jared Patterson was cleared from concussion protocol, was out there working with the boys. Who do you think starts at left guard?
So my initial instinct would be, they roll back out with what they did whenever Kenyon got benched that first time against the Colts, which is just a 1-for-1 replacement with Patterson at guard. But I would be surprised if they do something with Patterson at center. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but I mean, when Aaron Wilson tweeted today, center Jarrett Patterson's back. Maybe that's a tea leaf there, but I would be happy with that because I think that's something we all obviously know. The left guard spot was the biggest sore thumb on our O line, but I feel like it's not being talked about enough as the center position, which is probably the most important. You're making all the communications and checks, and Juice has not been that great. There's been snap count issues, obviously protection issues. So hopefully Patterson plays center and Scruggs plays guard or some kind of variation of that. So that I really don't know. One of those two, I believe.
Now, Harley, when you hear that and you hear the little conspiracy theory we got going on, a potentially new offensive line with two new starting interior linemen, right? What if the Houston Texans threw out Kendrick Green at left guard and Jared Patterson at center against the Detroit Lions? Now, lately they have been struggling without Aiden Hutchinson. Last week against Green Bay, 0 sacks on 39 dropbacks, only 2 quarterback hits allowed. However, they just got Zadarius Smith from the Cleveland Browns, 5 sacks on the season. Great pickup for them. What if the Houston Texans threw out a new front five, man, and you have 2 new starting linemen?
Well, like Stresson is saying, I mean, we've talked about left guard so much that it's just that black hole is just swallowed up what is the bad play from center as well as right guard too. But
Yep.
Juice, it's tough because when I talk about Juice Scruggs, I'm like, man, this is really his first full year at the center
Mhm.
position. But unfortunately, we're a team ready to win. We're a
We're
team ready
not
to get
waiting for
going.
you. That's what
Yeah,
D'Amico said.
exactly what
Yeah.
D'Amico said. And it sucks, but hey, this is where we're at. We're 6-3. We can't lose games. We can't be
Mm-mm.
losing too many games, man. And if they're gonna bank on the rest of this division being ass and they're sweeping this division, well, cool. You're kind of settling for just a first round, second round exit though, because it doesn't give me a lot of hope. Um, putting in 2 new guys, it just shows to me that they want to. They're trying to do something,
Mhm.
And I understand they didn't really make a significant move. It's tough to make a significant move coming to the trade deadline. I wasn't expecting anything significant. I was expecting maybe they go grab a backup guard that was known. Like I thought of Andrus Pete, who's a backup guard for the Raiders, who's being thrown around. I'm not saying he's good or great, but I mean,
Change, yeah.
he's a versatile guard that could play left or right side of guard. He's also played tackle before. So I don't know. You're just throwing crap at the wall and seeing if it sticks right now. I mean, they're working out with La'el Collins. La'el Collins, eh, La'el Collins ain't the greatest option, but hey, what else can you work with? You're looking at guys off the streets trying to figure out if they can get going. Like, it is what it is, man. So the Houston Texans, if they come out and they run out with Jarrett Patterson at center and Kendrick Green at left guard, it's interesting. It makes me go, oh, okay. Well, Nick, D'Amico, they're trying to do something to help CJ Stroud. And again, we've said this many times. I don't need good offensive line play. I don't need great offensive line play. I just need average offensive line play. We've seen what CJ could do with time. When he has time, he makes plays.
Well, look at last year's O line. It was average O line play, and the production was elite. And it was,
Yes.
a lot of injured receivers at the times too. So I mean, he doesn't need much.
Mm-mm.
And maybe stressing that all we just need is like a new starting five, a breath fresh of of air, because when we saw the weeks go by, and it was just the same thing we were talking about every single week. There's offensive line. At first it was the penalties, and now it's just the fact that they can't block anyone to save their lives, and CJ Stroud was getting killed. And it feels like the offense gets a little boost when a change is made. So hopefully against the Detroit Lions, we see maybe a potentially new Houston Texan offense. Of course, they're all going to be excited with the addition of potentially a new starter. Well, for sure, we're going to have a new left guard. I want to talk about Nico Collins. Tristan, you're a former wide receiver. What could he do if he returns, to help this Houston Texan offense, right? Do we get the ball out quicker because of how great he is against one-on-one coverage? Your thoughts on potentially having Nico Collins back?
Oh, he's a game changer, and I'm sure everyone saw that clip that went viral that Mr. Optimistic posted from Seth Payne when he was ranting after the loss. And it is funny too, like, as fans, we get all passionate and people get mad. Like, you propose one solution and they think that means you're ignoring another. So he was basically saying, like, he said that Nico can help with the protection issues, but then people like took that as like, you're saying the line doesn't suck. He's like, no, it's just a separate issue, which I agree. And I found a stat today from Next Gen Stats, and it was basically how often CJ's been pressured and how he's fared against it, and how he's fared against it with Nico and as opposed to all the other receivers. And like, as long as Nico's on the field and he's getting pressured, like, their numbers are insane. And to your point, like you alluded to, whether it's quick screens or slants or whatever it may be, for whatever reason, when Nico is on there, even with the bad O-line play, he can help mask a lot of that. And I think that's why early on we didn't see a lot of it. And a lot of it, too, I believe, is from those extended plays. Obviously, the screens and slants, like I mentioned, but, when he flushes the pocket, him and Nico just had this incredible connection in the scramble drill. So that definitely did mask a lot of the issues. And it's no coincidence, once Nico's gone, now all of a sudden the O-line looks 10 times worse. Well, no shit. Nico's gone. So, hopefully Nico's back. The wording from Aaron today was kind of like, sound like he's back but not back, and we've all known how they've handled injuries. It's a mystery at times, and they tend to be more conservative than not. So if he's back, that's an immediate boost. And then you couple that with what we just mentioned, at the very least, a new left guard, hopefully a new center. And then I would also go a step further and say this Detroit Lions defensive line is not as good as what we face. I know we've heard this, but and I know people don't really care to hear this, but they're like 25th in the league at pressure rate, which, I think that's good for our O-line. I think the O-line will have a good game, and I think the offense will put up points.
Yeah, we've heard that story before, and then we saw, CJ pressure like a tremendous amount of time. So, the confidence with this O-line is that, at the lowest it's been in a while. So they just got to show us out there. Harley, this is a big game for offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. the offense has been underwhelming. We've been talking about this since week 2, week 3. There's no rhythm. We talked about the woes in the second half. No touchdown scored in the last 3 weeks. Is this a I don't want to say must win because you are going against one of the best teams in the NFL. But for Bobby Slowick, does this offense need to be productive on Sunday, given the fact that you are on prime time and you're going up against, like we said, one of the best teams in this league?
Yeah, you have to. You got to show some sort of sign of improvements. I mentioned it in a video that I was going to post tomorrow morning. Like, even and look, I hope we don't lose. But even if you lose, like if it's a competitive game and you are shown signs of improvement offensively, like you were, this is what I need, man. You were so inept offensively last week. I mean, the infrastructure offensively was disgusting, and if you can move the ball down the field, you can score 20 plus points. I'm happy. Like I am happy. I'm very happy. And I'm talking about during the course of the game, not in no junk time if it's a blowout. No, I don't want any of that. Like I want the Houston Texans to go out there and showcase that, hey, we can be a good offensive football team. Let's get the offensive line going. That's really the biggest issue. If you fix the offensive line, then we can start looking into the Bobby Slowick ideas and what's going on with him and the other matter. But his thing is going to be, well, the offensive line's not blocking, and it's tough to even blame him, right? I mean, you can't formulate any sort of plays if the offensive line isn't blocking. I hate to be that guy that's trying to give a crutch to Bobby Slowick, because I'm not so happy with some of the play calling. Stresson's mentioned it, alluded to the fact of throwing the quick game. That's something I thought he should have adjusted in the second half of the Jets game last week. It's something we saw the Jets do in the second half was, hey, you know what? They're getting to us, man. We're just going to start throwing quick passes. Oh, they're playing off coverage. They're playing zone coverage, and they're playing back 5-6 yards. Hey, Garrett Wilson, you're just going to look at me. We're going to make this eye contact, and I'm just going to throw the ball to you right away. And Devontae Adams, and then it just got their offense in a rhythm. Then it got them flowing. That's all you need. You get CJ in a rhythm, you're talking about, an unstoppable quarterback when he is in a rhythm and flowing freely in an offense. That's what I need the Texans to start doing, man.
Hey, Harley, but what you just mentioned, like those like nonverbal communications, like a lot of that too is like when a blitzer comes and you're hot. I was watching the All-22 and like there's a disconnect between the receivers and CJ. And like you can see the blitzer coming, and then the receiver just runs his 10-yard route. Like I don't know if it's the receiver's fault or CJ's fault. I tend to believe a lot of them are the receiver or tight end's fault. It's like once you realize the blitzer, as soon as he blitzes, you just turn around, and they just don't do it. Or it comes down to coaching. They're not coach. Yeah.
So there's a lack of chemistry. Like I don't know if it's just because we seeing more Mechie and Hutchinson, and he just maybe just doesn't have the same chemistry with those guys as
he was hitting Diggs on those little hot routes like that.
Exactly.
Like Diggs is a savvy veteran who's seen that stuff, but
that too. And we mentioned the innate ability that him and Nico have already. I've missed some of that with Tank this year, but it's kind of tough to throw anything with Tank. If I catches 120 yards in the Jets game against Sauce Gardner, he's trying to do his best as he can. I don't know. I'm gonna draw that one up as just lack of chemistry between him and the wide receivers. That's what I'm gonna draw it up as, and just inexperience.
Bro, I don't know how they don't have the chemistry, man. This is kind of the exact same core as last year. And, you have people bringing up the fact that CJ was, halfway across the world promoting the NFL. I don't want to get into stuff like that, but, it's hard to, not have those conversations pop up when you see all these miscommunications out there. And the fact that we haven't seen, this 5-headed monster that they were talking about in training camp. I mean, hell, it's barely been a 2-headed monster. But Stressens, you mentioned that the Detroit Lions are almost, middle of the pack in terms of pressure, right? They are also, kind of middle of the pack in terms of stopping opposing running backs. How do you see the Houston Texans using Joe Mixon in this game? Is this another 30-carry game for the veteran running back? That's kind of where I'm leaning to with, potentially Nico Collins being there and not being there.
Yeah, I guess it depends on game flow and Nico, like you said, being there and not being there. But I think their pass defense is worse than their rush defense. But Another thing that goes with all these struggles is we know, like, more often than not, it's because of third down and longs. And it's the flip side for us on defense. Like when the Jets started beating us in the second half, it's because they got their run game going and got into third and shorts, second and shorts. So now, rather than being a predictable pass down, they have options. I mean, a couple of those touchdowns were 4th and 1 or big plays, 4th and 1 or 3rd and short, and we're trying to stop the run and they hit you with the big pass. So I would assume that should be our game plan too, is to have a good run game, to get in favorable third downs, get 2-3 yards per carry on those early downs. But yeah, I mean, and he's shown too, I saw a stat on Next Gen stats, like he's, I think he's been hit in the backfield. Something about basically his blocking has been one of the worst in the league, yet he's like the most effective at getting around it. So he is another example, kind of like how Nico, oh shit, your house on fire, dude. Okay, never mind. I think you just. Anyways, yeah. So very similar to how Nico and CJ masked the O-line issues on the pass pro. Joe Mixon has done the same thing with running as well too. So, but that being said, like you give him the ball in a busted play, he's still going to make it shake. So I mean, shit, yeah, give him 30 carries, dude.
I mean, hey, that's why you brought him here. He's been fantastic, game changer and running back. Before we move to the defensive side of the ball, Harley, there has been this conversation amongst Twitter, especially amongst Facebook. CJ Stroud is having a sophomore slump. CJ Stroud is overrated. H-Town Reddit keeps on bringing up that CJ Stroud's been overthrown. His receivers not been accurate. CJ Stroud needs to step up. Is CJ Stroud having a sophomore slump? Has he regressed in year 2?
Absolutely not.
And stressing you could go after.
Has he played some bad football? Not so good compared to last year? Yeah. But come on, man, we watching the games or what? Like we watching the games, right? We're watching this offensive line destroy what is supposed to be a really good second year CJ Stroud. And you can see it mentally. Like you're seeing him where even when he has time, it's starting to be like, crap, I got to get rid of the ball, because it's starting to get to him mentally. And that's just something that's been the Achilles heel. Ruben, you mentioned in the beginning of this stream, like that's been the Achilles heel of the Houston Texans franchise. It's just trying to find good offensive line play. You never found it for David Carr. And we never know if David Carr was going to be a good quarterback or not. I mean, his rookie year was very good, actually. It was really solid. Well, he never touched anything close to that since because he was on his back every single damn time. And it's the same thing when it comes to CJ Stroud. And it's the same thing with Deshaun Watson too, because Deshaun had to ride a damn bus alone to Jacksonville. Like, I remember that. The only time was the few years with Matt Schaub. And even then, it was just a few years, there was a time where you were trying to figure out if Antoine Caldwell, left guard, could stay healthy, and you were trying to figure out if Casey Studdard, a late draft round pick from UT, was going to be the answer at guard, and none of that happened. Okay, so Matt Schaub, hey, he had about 2-3 years of good to great offensive line play, and that's really what the Houston Texans had. Fast forward to today, that's been the biggest reason as to why CJ Stroud isn't performing to the same levels as he was as a rookie. I'm crediting it to most of the offensive line. The wide receivers are fine for him, even without Stephon Diggs. I'm still confident that this Houston Texans and CJ Stroud and the offense can still get it going. But until the offensive line plays better, then CJ Stroud is not going to look like the same level as you did last year. It's upsetting, man. You had what? I think last week? Yeah. I think I had it where it was like 19 out of 44 times he was getting pressured. So like it was like a 46% clip. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been the most pressured quarterback. It's obviously that's not going to spell for good things to happen.
Yeah, I mean, all I got to say is, we got some hope when we got CJ right here. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. Like, no, it's nowhere near a sophomore slump. Has he been worse than last year? Yes. Is the majority of it because of the O-line and pass protection? Yes. Are there some things that he's done bad regardless? Yes. There is the fact, like Mr. Optimistic said, he is sped up. I mean, who wouldn't be sped up when he's not just getting pressured, he's getting like unabated pressure, like where the guy's there in like a second. I mean, So you're shell shocked in your head, like, am I about to just get hit out of nowhere again? So you can't really blame him for that. But that being said, decisions, he has, a part of it too is we get stuck in these third and longs, and rather than continually being that, conservative approach where you take the smart play, he's trying to go for home runs, maybe holding the ball too long too, trying to make up for lost plays. But the big thing that he was good at last year was taking care of the ball, which is still true. I mean, he's had 2 fumbles. That's always kind of been somewhat of an issue. But as far as throwing the ball, his interceptions are low. His touchdown interception ratio is still extremely good. His turnover worthy play percentage is still very low. So he's not doing bad in that regard. It's just, little things. And then it's hard for us to say too, like the operational standpoint, like what he is and isn't responsible for. How much freedom does he have to check plays? Is he not doing good there? We don't know if it's him or if he doesn't have the ability to do it. Like we just mentioned, the hot route stuff, is that his fault or not? But even then, all that being said, as much as he's been pressured, like the numbers that he's put up and the games that he's kept us in and won in spite of that is like truly, truly remarkable. Like most other quarterbacks in this scenario would be looking like complete dog shit. And now we're like on the verge of questioning whether it's just a sophomore slump, which is so no, that's not the case at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you mentioned it. It's 1 second. As soon as he gets the snap, there was someone right in his face. Once his offensive line gets better, and like Harley said, they just need to be average. When you saw multiple 0-sack performances last year with guys who are, right now not on the NFL roster against, defenses with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, you're like, wow. And we saw what the potential of CJ was. So these boys just need to man up and step up. Switching to the defensive side of the ball, Harley practicing today. Linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, your captain, he returns, and this is a huge part of your Houston Texans defense. Also returning veteran safety Jimmy Ward. He knows this D'Amico Ryan's defense left and right, so happy to have him back. Your thoughts on the 2 veterans returning to this Houston Texans defense, and what are you expecting from this, from this front 4 against this Lions offensive line, which is one of the best in this league?
I mean, it felt expected that they were going to come back in this game, considering I believe they showed, I think it was Wednesday, the day before Thursday, where they were kind of like at practice, but you knew they weren't
like on the sideline.
Yeah, so it was pretty hopeful that they were going to be able to play this game. Very happy to see Azeez Al-Shaair come back. I mean, I know there was some pessimistic fans wondering whether or not because the signing of Devin White, that what does that bode for Azeez's future? So it's good to see him back. That guy's a dog. He's probably hurt, but he's just gonna play. I mean, let's be real. He's probably hurt. It don't matter. He could be missing a finger. He's gonna go out there and play some football. It doesn't matter. Jimmy Ward, man. Oh, Jimmy Ward,
the OG.
We'll see how long it takes for him to hit either the opposing team or one of his own players before he gets knocked out again. It's just Jimmy Ward. I love him. He's fun to watch. I ain't gonna lie, man. He's a fun football player to watch. But man, I would love to see him be healthy. That's just the biggest thing. This is a guy you gave an extension to who's had numerous injuries in his short career here as a Houston Texan. Somebody that we know D'Amico Ryan trusts a lot, him and Azeez, but Azeez has been fantastic for you. I was hoping you get something similar production-wise out of Jimmy Ward. He's played pretty well when he's been on the field. It's just that second caveat when he's been on the field, and so I feel more comfortable in the secondary when he is in there, just because he plays better. Put it quite simple. But yeah, man, the defense should be, I mean, they've done well without them, so it should be very good with both of them back in. So yeah, this defense, I really wasn't worried about this defense entering the Detroit game. It's always just been the offense.
Stressing the Lions enter this game, the highest scoring offense in the NFL. They got 2 great running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. They don't even have to throw the ball, and they could still put up 30-plus points. What can this Houston Texans do to slow down Ben Johnson's offense?
Yeah, I mean, so you pointed it out. It's stopping the run with those two running backs, the best 1-2 punch in the league, more than likely behind probably one of the best offensive lines. But luckily for us, we are pretty damn good at stopping the run. And like y'all just mentioned, we haven't been as good the past couple of weeks was because our captain Aziz Al-Shaair has been out. He's a force in the run game. So obviously he'll serve his weight there. But Jimmy Ward is a very underrated piece to get back healthy because he is also a force in the run game. And then another piece that we didn't mention is Jeff Okudah. We have yet to see him yet. Yeah. But, obviously stopping the run is paramount against them. It's like I mentioned earlier, if a team is able to get ahead of schedule and run the ball and be able to get into second and shorts and third and shorts, then it kind of gives you problems. So if we can stop that and get in third and longs, I think we can really give Jared Goff some trouble because a lot of his success is off play action passes. The run game works, and then they run play action off of it. But the Jeff Okudah part would be we saw what happened last week when you get into these predictable third and shorts or not predictable third and shorts, and we're selling out for the run. And now you have Petrie who's in there to stop the run at nickel guarding a Devontae Adams. That this week would be him guarding Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's probably one of the best slot receivers in the league. But with Okudah back, now you have options. And Jimmy. Jimmy could maybe guard him better in the slot, or you could put Okudah at outside corner in the known passing down and shift Lassiter into the slot and maybe hope that he can contain Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm confident we can stop the run. And then our defense at NRG is elite. Look what we did to Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, AR, you name it. I think our defense is going to make Jared Goff look bad because when he looks good, he looks good. But when he looks bad, he looks bad. I think the defense is going to ball out.
If that happens, we're talking about a very close football game. And you mentioned the defense at home. Anthony Richardson and Josh Allen, both sub 40 QBR ratings, man. That just goes to show you how elite this defense is. Will Anderson Jr. was not at practice today. That's something that we have to monitor. However, I still have some confidence in the D-line. With the addition of Nico Autry last week, 2 sacks was really a force. He's knocking the rust off. Harley, you mentioned Amon St. Brown has caught his last 30 targets. How do the Houston Texans stop him? Does Mr. Derek Stingley have to stay on him the entire time?
Ooh, that'd be fun. That would be fun as a fan and entertainment wise. Yeah, I would love to see Derek Stingley shadow Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would love to see a Texans playoff defense, in terms of doing that, because we all know what Stingley can do when he shadows the number 1 wide receiver. He did well against the Browns in shutting down Amari Cooper. He did well in shutting down Zay Flowers in the Ravens game as well. I have no doubt that Derek Stingley can shut down or at least, contain an Amon-Ra St. Brown. And are they going to do it? Are they going to implement that? I'm not quite sure. If he's going to be predominantly in the slot, that's where Amon-Ra just cooks up players, is in the slot. That's his bread and butter. Petrie, you better lace him up, man. Like it's not going to be a pretty night for Petrie in terms of game film. That's where, Stresson's mentioned Okudah, coming back gives you an extra option of what you want to do there. Because you not only have to worry about him, but hey, there's this guy named Jameson Williams on the opposite side that can, pop the top off the defense and boom, there's a 60-yard touchdown. That's not something you want to happen either. So, this Texans defense knows that they got their hands full when it comes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. DeMeco Ryans knows what to do, though. I'm going to entrust in my defensive head coach that he knows what to do when it comes to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm confident that he can cook something up schematically.
Yeah, and I think once again, it just goes back to the point. The only area that we don't have confidence in, the only area that is holding this team back is the offensive line. Before we go, boys, Mr. Stressens, can you give us one of your key to the games? And if you have a score prediction, man, throw it out there.
I guess I got several, but I'll just stick with what I said. I mean, it's really stopping the run on defense. Like I mentioned, if we keep them out of these second and shorts, third and shorts, force them to some third and longs, we could pressure Goff. We can make it look like a pumpkin, get some turnovers. And so I'm oddly confident in this game. I think it's a great matchup for us. I'm optimistic the O-line will be better. I think their D-line, it's a good matchup. It's not a dominant line like we played. I know the previous ones like Colts and Jets at the time didn't seem good, but it turned out they're pretty dang good. So yeah, I think we can put up some points. I say 31-24 Texans.
Harley, how would you feel if that happened?
Oh man, I'm ecstatic. I'm be excited as hell, and to be along the same undertones of Houston Texans there in terms of positivity. I mean, why not? The Houston Texans, this is primetime football, man. This is Sunday night football. This isn't no joke. This is the Detroit Lions. Like, this is a big game. This is if you want to make a deep playoff run, these are the caliber kind of teams that you're going to be playing in the AFC. I know they're in the NFC, but this is a several type of team, man. I mean, you haven't beat the Ravens, but that's a team you're obviously going to face later in the year. The Chiefs are always going to be there. You got the Bills again. I know you beat them already, but they're not an easy out. Like, you can't, we can't just say, oh, well, we beat them already. No, I don't care about regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, I want to see some wins. So the Houston Texans, they know there's a big time game. Hey, CJ Stroud said he'd been praying. I hope he's been praying to every God there is, man, because that offensive line, it needs to play just average. Okay. I just need an average offensive line. Create some pressure on Jared Goff, man. Try not to, it's going to be tough to contain the run game. I'm kind of considering that. Have they seen a 1-2 punch? The Texans I know are good at containing the run. I'm very curious to see how they perform against a 1-2 punch duo like this. Okay, we got Montgomery and then here's Gibbs, or if it's vice versa, so that's where I'm kind of like, okay, and then you got to figure them into the passing game as well, especially Gibbs is what I'm really referencing there. So, but I'm done with the pessimistic, man. I'm done with it. I don't want no damn loss. The Houston Texans get a damn win. They look good doing it. They show some signs of improvements. The little health bar is starting to reek back up, and the Houston Texans get themselves a huge win here in NRG Sunday Night Football. Man, I keep predicting these 30-point scores, and it just ain't happening. So I'm gonna go. We're gonna get some field goals. Why not? Let's go 26-23 Texans. Close game, fun game, entertaining game. I need the Texans to show signs of improvement in order for me to feel better about them moving forward.
100% agree. You come out here with the W. This is your biggest win of the season. Everyone is going to be taking you for real, and it's going to say, if you just protect CJ Stroud, look at what could happen. And that's my key to the game, man. Keep him upright, give him time to operate back there, and he is going to win you football games. You are wearing the battle red uniforms. You are at home. You do not want to get embarrassed again, man. What am I fucking, man? Act like you give a damn. Go out there and feel disrespected that they're lining up against you in your house. Houston, this is your opportunity right now to shock the NFL world. And I promise you, everyone's going to be saying, where the hell was this all season? But Harley mentioned the health bar is going up. You got potentially 3 starters coming back. Someone mentioned you have a pissed off CJ. Hell, I'm pissed off too because I'm tired of being called a pretender.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of it. We are not the same old Houston Texans, and we have an opportunity to show that on Sunday night. Like Homegirl just said, I don't give a damn if it's ugly, just win. Just win, man. That's what Snoop Dogg said. That's what Al Davis said. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight in this stream. We will be back next week, and we will have our boy AD with us. Go ahead, Stressens.
I think it's CJ and Nico have yet to lose back-to-back games. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we're undefeated at home.
We're good.
Ooh, come on, man. Come on.
I need it, man.
Texas money line, bet US.
Dude, they're oh my God.
3.5 underdog?
They're 3.5 point underdogs, which has me feeling some type of way. And indoors, I trust my kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn. Man, we just dude, just give me 0.5 seconds more of protection and watch CJ just do some. That's all you need, boys. That's
I'm
all
loving
you
the
need.
vibes right here. We're good, man. We're good.
Like we're feeling good because we know it's like it's not multiple things wrong with this team, right?
Yeah.
We know it's just one unit that fucking sucks.
But and like we know D'Amico has said this, and we all get mad, but like they have shown that they can do it at times, just not.
Oh my god,
lately.
yeah, but that's like 3 to 4 plays, and then they give me 30 plays of CJ just completely getting murdered.
Yeah, for sure.
We got this. Let's do it. Yeah, look, yeah. 3 is dangerous.
I guarantee you, if you're a bettor, I would lock that in now. Because I don't know if Nico is going to play, but I guarantee you, as soon as that news breaks, if he does play, that line's going to go down to 2.
You think so?
Oh, Nico would be a big. I don't know if that's. I doubt that's baked in, or it's probably semi-baked in. But
let's do it.
On the flip side, if you bet it and he doesn't play, it could go to +4.
Let's have, before he went out, he was one of the, the leading wide receiver in terms of yards
now.
Dude. Yeah, 14. So he's still top 15. And, CJ wasn't as pressured when Nico Collins was out there. So Seth Payne is also right about that. But we will be back next week, guys, to discuss this. Before we go, Stressins, let them know where they can find you. You got a fantastic website.
Yeah, my website, www.houstonstressins.com, at Texans Commentator on Twitter and TikTok, Houston Stressins on Instagram and Facebook. Check out the site. I'm still working on that content creator page where I'll basically have like a directory for everyone to check out everyone's stuff to look at. But yeah, if you want some merch like this, the CJ Hope shirt, go and check it out.
Harley, Mr. 10K, where can the people find you and all your latest work?
Yeah, thank you again, everybody. Y'all can always find me at _HOU anywhere on social media, especially YouTube. On the road to, I'm used to saying 10K, on the road to 12K then.
Hey.
12,000 subscribers. Let's create a little mini goal before the end of the year. Yeah, man, 12,000 subscribers. Yeah, I would like to reach that before the end of the year. I'd like to get 15K, but we'll get there. Appreciate everybody that's liked, commented, subscribed. If you're watching right now, make sure y'all do y'all's thing, man. Like the stream, do y'all's thing. Go to everyone's platform. Go watch a video. Just take a few minutes. Go take a shit. Leave the video going. Give us those views. Give us that time of duration. Let us. Don't skip an ad. Just take a shit. Let the video go. Okay. Help me out. I help you out by dropping lots of content as much as I can, and you do the same thing. So that's what it takes, man. We love it here. We're love Texas fans.
Y'all dropping deuces.
Yeah,
that's how you help.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
I'm dropping content while I drop deuces. I don't know what y'all are doing.
There we go.